What's up, guys? Today I thought would be the perfect day to debut my Bears Weekly Update series. I'm going to be checking in on the progress of some of this year's most interesting storylines and player development. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First, a quick update on Tevin Jenkins, though. He has a bruised rib and is considered day to day. It sounds like Tev should be okay. Hopefully, we can get him back in the lineup. But while I'm talking about the offensive line, let's go ahead and look at how these guys have performed through 4 games. So far, inconsistency has to be the biggest issue. Every single player on this line has struggled at some point in time this season. Braxton Jones hasn't allowed a sack all year. However, he has allowed the most pressures on the team, and he leads the team in penalties. He's also been one of our best run blockers, and while he hasn't allowed a sack, he did allow 2 sacks against the Rams that were called back due to penalties against the defense. But maybe without those penalties, he wouldn't have given up the sack. But Braxton has been up and down. I am not giving up on Braxton Jones yet, but I need to see him perform better over the next few weeks. Tevin Jenkins has been our best offensive lineman this year, although he has given up 2 sacks and has a penalty himself. On top of that, he missed most of Sunday's game with a rib injury. Tev's biggest issue has been staying on the field. Coleman Shelton has been up and down, only allowing 1 sack, but he's given up 9 pressures and has a penalty. Shelton has not been great as a pass blocker, but he's been solid as a run blocker. And at right guard, it's been a mix of Nate Davis and Matt Pryor. Both players have been up and down. Pryor has allowed 2 sacks, while Nate has only allowed 1, but Nate has 3 penalties and has allowed more pressures. Pryor has struggled at times as well, but overall, I think he's been pretty solid. Nate's biggest issue has been lapses of concentration, missed blocks, and penalties. Nate would take over for Tevin Jenkins on Sunday, and after he had a holding call that wiped out a big DJ Moore first down, he actually played pretty well the rest of the game. PFF graded him out as our best lineman on Sunday. I did notice a few nice blocks, so maybe getting benched motivated him a little bit. But honestly, my biggest disappointment this season has been Darnell Wright. 3 sacks, 9 pressures, and 3 penalties. He's just been so inconsistent. I expected Darnell to take a huge step forward in his second season in the NFL, but so far I haven't really seen that. I have seen flashes from him, but he's given up the most sacks on the team, and he needs to cut down on the penalties and the missed blocks. I'm still very high on Darnell Wright, but his first 4 games this year have been disappointing. I will say this about our offensive line, though. I think the second half of yesterday's game was the best this line has played all season, and that was without Tevin Jenkins out there. So definitely a positive development and something these guys can build on going forward. But now let's go ahead and get to it. Caleb Williams, who took his biggest step as an NFL quarterback on Sunday. He played winning football, but more than that, he was awesome when he was pressured. In his first 3 games, Caleb had struggled when he was under pressure, and that caused defensive coordinators to continue blitzing Caleb Williams, but he turned the page on that on Sunday. He led the entire NFL in passer rating when pressured in week 4. Caleb had a 125.4 rating against the Rams when he was pressured. This was number 1 in the entire league, leading all quarterbacks in week 4. This was a huge development for Caleb Williams. And on top of that, his passer rating has also significantly improved over the last 2 weeks. After having subpar ratings in weeks 1 and 2, Caleb got better in week 3 with an 80.8 rating, but then took another big step forward yesterday with a 106.6 rating, by far his best performance to date. But the fact that he played so well when under pressure is such a positive development for a rookie quarterback. This is what we've been waiting for. Caleb Williams finally looked like the game started to slow down for him. Even when you look at his touchdown pass to DJ Moore, the pocket was collapsing all around him, but Caleb stayed calm and threw a beautiful touch pass to DJ Moore, dropping it in the bucket for a touchdown. This is positive. It's more than we just won the game, but we are also finally developing a rookie quarterback. I don't really want to compare him to Jaden Daniels, who's playing great. I'm just talking about developing him as a quarterback and as a passer in the NFL. He's running the entire offense. He's making checks at the line of scrimmage. He's identifying the mic on defense, making checks and protection calls, changing the plays when he sees fit, and operating in the structure of this offense. When if you go all the way back to January, two of my biggest worries about Caleb Williams and his scouting report were his ability to operate in structure within an offense and the fact that he never played under center in college. Caleb is not only operating from under center, but he's operating on structure, on time within this offense. I love what I've seen from Caleb Williams, and his development so far only furthers my belief that he's going to be the best quarterback in Bears history and that we finally have our franchise quarterback. But the biggest disappointment to me has been from our wide receivers. These guys talked about the race to 1,000 yards in the offseason between DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze, but so far it's gotten off to a really slow start. Other than week three's outburst by DJ and Rome, our receivers have not been major parts of this offense. Cole Kmet and DeAndre Swift have been just involved as receivers in the passing game, and Caleb has really spread the ball around. On top of that, Keenan Allen missed 2 games, and we've also left a lot of yards on the field. It's been timing issues, miscommunications, and overthrows that have just happened too often. But after 4 weeks, DJ Moore has 22 catches for 189 yards and 1 touchdown. Rome has just 10 catches for 166 yards and 1 touchdown. But Keenan Allen is trailing behind both of them with just 7 catches for 48 yards, and he has not caught a touchdown yet. I'll go ahead and update this throughout the season in this weekly video. I still think all three of these guys do have 1,000+ yard upside. But let's look at how our defensive line has performed. Montez Sweat has been the gold standard. He has 2 sacks, 11 pressures, a forced fumble, and 3 tackles for a loss. Meanwhile, Javon Dexter is up next with 9 pressures, but he leads the team with 3 sacks. Dexter has been awesome so far this year. Andrew Billings and DeMarcus Walker have combined for 15 pressures, but haven't recorded a sack yet. Both players have been really close. And then we have Darrell Taylor, who started the season hot with 2 sacks. He also had a QB hit on the final defensive play of the game on Sunday. The Jaquan Brisker interception was helped by Darrell Taylor's pressure on the quarterback. As far as Austin Booker, he does have 2 pressures, but he has not recorded a sack yet. But I have seen improvements from Booker. So that's my report from the trenches on both sides of the ball. We took a look at the offensive line, which is my biggest worry, and the defensive line, which has honestly been my biggest surprise this season. I love what Javon Dexter and Darrell Taylor have done. But that's it for today. These are some things that we can go ahead and check out each week of the season and see how these players progress. The biggest news of the day was Caleb Williams and how he performed against the Blitz. This was such a positive development and something I'm going to be talking about more going forward. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Let me know how you guys feel. And until next time, bear down.